This has been a very strange and difficult year for everybody. I work in health and social care, and fitting this round the pandemic and the response to the pandemic and my role in that has been very challenging.
As a working mother of three, I found it difficult at times to fully commit to the program due to the challenges brought by the pandemic, but also the time required to actively participate in the program.
I think this year will go down as a year like no other, particularly within this program, but in life in general. And that has been a challenge, to build relationships with your host board remotely. But it's one of those things that we've all had to navigate.
I think the level of commitment that you need to give to the program in order for you to get the benefit out of it is quite high, but definitely you get out of it what you put in.
My biggest challenge has probably been time. While the program brings about a lot of amazing opportunities, it also becomes a real balancing act to make sure that you keep that commitment that you made at the start of the program. Just like a real board member, you really have to be dedicated and committed to the program in the same way that you would be for a real board. So I would say to anyone that you would seriously need to think about that before signing up.
Being able to integrate with a room full of really experienced people who've maybe been on a board already for 5 years, and to feel that you are credible enough to take part in a meaningful discussion with them. But they've been most welcoming and very generous with their advice and their time. So they've gone out of their way to include me in those discussions, and I felt very comfortable in taking part.
Building that confidence in myself and being able to interact with the other board members within my host board.
So I'm not great at putting myself forward. So this is kind of the Boardroom Apprentice has really forced me to do that.
You know, juggling, I'm self-employed, so juggling your work commitments around the commitments of attending training sessions and attending those of your host board.
There is a bit of time commitment as well. So that has been, I was trying to juggle everything and give this experience the time that it deserves and the time that I want to put into it. But I've definitely gained a lot more than I've had to commit in time myself.
I think it's just that juggling, that balance. I only work part-time, which helps, but I do have a busy household with kids, so sometimes it's finding that time and just juggling everything around.
From a training perspective, I think it's really pushed me again out of my comfort zone in areas such as finance, leadership and governance.
I think for me a challenge is always kind of speaking up and confidence, and I think I've learned from this programme that it's really about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and that's how you're going to get better at that.
My host board is a trust, so as you can imagine during the pandemic it's been particularly challenging at times, especially coming up to December time, whenever there was a major surge and the hospitals were really struggling. So that was challenging and something that I needed to kind of adjust my mental resilience to.
This experience has been completely outside of my comfort zone. I'm at the very beginning of my career and I'm not used to speaking out as much as this kind of scheme requires, so I've really been made to feel uncomfortable or get comfortable with being uncomfortable, as Eileen would say, but I'm so much along the way.
Oh, challenging. Oh, there's been many challenges. Probably time. One of the main things has been dyslexic. It was so time consuming because I would have to highlight text, copy it to special software and read it. So the normal way I would read is probably do mind maps. So because I didn't want to miss anything, that has been so time consuming. So I suppose, yes, being dyslexic has been the biggest challenge.